Hello everyone, welcome to episode 34 of the Malkan show. It's pleasant to see you all here and really sorry for the goof up because we're running exactly 7 minutes late. I was dealing with a very slow internet connection, just gotten sort of fixed. I hope it runs all right through the rest of the session. And fine, yes. Before we begin, for those of you who were part of the first session on the High Performance Masterclass, they have been reverting back with comments. I did receive a few emails too from people and a few comments on my personal chat box, email box, saying that the session was great and they had a lot of more insight by solving the worksheet. Now, I'm really glad to hear that because I feel the major part, as I said in the session, the major part of the learning happens when you do the work by filling in the worksheet. So thank you so much for those who have taken the effort. And for those who are yet to watch the session and yet to fill up the worksheet, please do so, guys, because I'm doing the next session on Friday. This Friday, which is 13th September at night at 10 p.m. So for a few sessions, I think let's move in the night and then we can move during the daytime if everybody can make it. Right? So do that, guys. And yes, we have people joining in from, let's see who's joining from where. We have Rekhaji joining in today. Good, thank you. Good to see you here. We have Atulji joining. Hi, Nilesh. Good to see you here. And yes, I do have a couple of people saying my video is not clear. I hope my video is clear, guys. Just confirm if my audio and video both are clear and then we begin. Yes, can you confirm if the audio as well as the video is pretty clear so that we can jump straight into the topic for today? So for those who want to register for the second part, go to the site malkanhpclass.com, register yourself for part 2 of this session. Okay, someone says no screen, no sound. Everything is okay? Naresh, do you confirm? My video as well as my voice is fine? Okay, great. Thank you guys. So let's begin with today's session. What I have to talk about today is something very close to my heart. I have been experiencing that subject since a few days. It's been on my mind. So I thought let's talk about that today. I do remember a few of the instances from my childhood, from my teenage years, where my parents used to tell me that do not be associated, do not play with a particular group of girls or guys, or do not hang out with these guys, or in log se dur rehna kind of thing. I've heard a lot. And though it was extremely irritating for me at that point of time, I do see myself, I catch myself sort of way of by repeating the same words to my children. My son is 10, my daughter is 6, they both go to high school. This is the time when I say these words to them so often. Don't hang out with this guy, be away from that kind of girl. We don't want to be part of this kind of gang. That takes me back to the thing that when I was there, it was so irritating. Why am I repeating the same words or the same behavior to them? Well, the answer at that time was, and the answer at this time was the same, that the people that you hang out with, you are, you're deemed to be part of that kind of gang. Isn't it true, guys? How many of you have experienced this? Where by default, for instance, if you hang out with a group of guys who are super physically fit, then you are deemed or considered to be part of having that characteristic in yourself. If you hang out with notorious kind of people, you're considered to be notorious. If you hang out with people who are, smarty pants, who study well, great rankers, you're considered to be a smarty pant too. That's what happens with all of us. I think that's the reason I've been hearing that since ages. And when we become parents, we tend to, repeat the same instruction to our kids as well. Now, this really strongly took me back to, the whole concept of limited association, disassociation, and expanded association that I talk to my students. It's all about how well you want to associate with someone and how you want to disassociate with someone, depending on the damage or the good they do to your lives, right? How they elevate you or how they deprive you of certain things in your life. The same aspect goes to friendship. Now, with friendship, we have a choice. Now, let's understand what friendship is in the first place. The kind of, we have all heard the saying that your friends define you. You are what your friends make of you. Your friends will go a long way to determine your character, your values, etc. What is friendship? When you go back to the olden times, when with the advent of the social life, earlier what used to happen is people used to live in groups. So the same thing that we call family now was the same thing that people used to have earlier, just that there was no name to it. But there were bigger groups. People used to live in societies, communities. That's the reason there was no advent of friendship in very, very olden times that I'm talking about. But now, since with the even with the advent of urban civilization, we're all interspread, across cities, across places. So what happens is we have built this relationship called friendship based on how close you're staying with someone, right? So that's how we have a set of people whom we associate with in the form of friendship. So friendship is the only thing which is by choice, because at home, when you have relationship with a family, that's not exactly your choice, right? That depends on the family or the people that you're born to, and the people that are part of the household already, and the people who are become part of the household later. Whereas when you have your work colleagues, it's those set of people associated with you because they are working for the same company as you are, or the same cause that you are. Friendship is the only thing which is something which is an association by choice. So in effect, when you're friends with someone, it's like you're choosing the other people because of liking for one another. You like someone, that's when you choose someone, right? So it's completely different than your family or your work colleagues, where so suppose you want to, when you plant a flag in friendship with someone, it's like you're telling that person, hey, you're enjoyable and I want to be around you because I like myself when I'm with you, isn't it? That's the reason we have friends. So but the thing is, the fact is, guys, your friends could be your source of inspiration, or they can be a source of your challenge or source of your growth. That is the choice that we need to make. So when you go deeper into this topic, there is you can categorize your friends into two parts, and that's the thing that's the distinction that I want to create on today's show, and that's the thing that I want to be talking about. Now before I move ahead, I need some interaction. I need to ask you that what is it that have you really experienced this kind of thing in friendship? What's your take been on friendship? Are you someone who is realized the impact of people, especially your friends, that they've had on you? What's your take on friendship been like? Come on, if you'd like to share here what it's been like when it comes to friendship within your life. You've had any experiences where a particular friend of you really inspires you, or a friend of you really pulls you down. What's it been with you? Come on, guys. I need you to share. The more you share, the more discussions can open up. So, what's it? I'll wait for a minute for a couple of shares here. What do you think? Either it could be an instance from your life, or you've observed something in people's lives of people around you, or your children, your young teenagers, young adolescents, whatever it could be. What's it with you? Come on. This is the most generic topic, and I know it's a base level topic because whatever we've been discussing here, if you notice one thing, there's no direct connection to money. If you have my previous this avatar of this is a trading, she's a trading coach, so it's all about talking money. But here we're not talking about anything related to money, so it's not about whatever things we talk is they're not going to generate you returns directly, but they'll generate you tons of returns indirectly over the long period of time. So that's what it is. So these topics are important and they're extremely important. So Maroti shares motivation is something that he looks from on the friendship part. Thank you. So of course, yes, your friends have perfect power to motivate you or demotivate you. Depends upon the kind of friends that we have. Pranav shares that in kids, that curiosity to question everything is possible. Yes. So what is the point that you're trying to make, Pranav? Are you trying to say that it's about sparking the curiosity amongst a group of kids, or what's it? So Radhika shares, opposites attract. I love company of my friends who can be so different. Yes, so if you're a very quiet and a demure person, you'd like a person who is, witty, or who's so spontaneous into everything, right? That's what we love and that's what we look for. Devi shares, have changed my friend's circle. It had a bad influence on me. Yes, thank you for sharing the wish. Yes, that's a big thing to realize, that the group of people that you're with, or the set of people that you hang out with, the kind of influence that they have on you is huge. So if you hang out with a group of people who never believe into reading, or have never have had the inclination, neither do have the inclination to pick up a book, read, and then share it with others, then that's what you will be. You will end up not reading for yourself at all. So thank you. Also, this is so motivating where you share that you have a superb friend circle. Fantastic. That's a great thing. And it requires a lot of courage. I applaud you for a courage, Devesh. It's not easy to get out of, to get rid of a group of people from your comfort zone, to get out of your comfort zone and establish a new set of friendships. Kudos to you for that. But Shali shares, I've always stayed with the positive side of my friend. Yes, that requires a judgment and that requires a lot of filtration, Vaishali. Thank you for sharing. Nilesh says, unfortunately, I don't have any good friend. Thank you, Nilesh. I have been from the same space as you are. I can so relate to when you say that. Not having a good friend, which means don't have a person which inspires you enough, which challenges you enough. I can understand. But thankfully now, as we grow, as we get into bigger groups and communities to learn, it is in that places that can be, a breeding ground of great friendships and great relationships. So keep on the lookout. Positive intentions and affirmations here, Nilesh, for you again. I think take a cue on that and see how you can make that work for yourself. Great. So thank you for sharing. So one important distinction, as we begin, I want to discuss before we get into types of friendship. How do friendships begin? What are the stages of friendship? Sabse pehle, you're strangers with someone, right? We're strangers with most of the people here. From that happens what happens? Your social orbits collide, which means you either come to stay near a person in a neighborhood thing, or you meet them through a common group of friends, whatever. It's a collision of social orbit, and then you become acquaintances, which means you get to know each other. The more you get to know each other, you get to know that what your common interests are, what your common likes and dislikes are, and that gets into a full-fledged friendship. That begins the friendship thing. What happens is this whole friendship thing will continue as long as it is maintained. So, in the important word here is maintain. The relationship of friendships needs maintenance. As long as you maintain it, it's going to remain intact. So the more you value it, the more you maintain it. It's directly proportional, right? And then there are two things. If you don't maintain, then that person becomes your former friend. Don't you remember, guys, a lot of people that you were friends with maybe in high school or maybe in college or maybe in a degree college, they are all under the category of a former friend now. So they become your former friend. And if you have a permanent fallout with them, jhagda ho ke you fall out with them or whatever, then that the whole rupture of relationship leads into the animosity. So it is this is the whole family thing. Sorry, the friendship thing, how it is built and how it ends up. Now, when you talk about friends, particular attention I want to draw here, and I want you to understand this distinction. What are the two kinds of categories of friends that we're going to be talking about? Especially, I'm going to be talking about only of friends who are helpful. We are not talking about friendship which doesn't add any value to your life, which demotivates you, which bores you to death, the conversations that do not interest you, which do not challenge you, help you to make your better best, which leads you into bad habits and bad practices. No, we're not talking about any of these, because these by itself are a no-no. We don't want these in our lives, right? We walk straight out of that relationship. We're talking about friends which are more on the positive side. Now, there are two types of people here. The first kind of friendship is that critical friendship that we talk about. Just remember that friend in your life which always is trying to poke you or challenge you out of something which you're not comfortable with, or something maybe you're not doing right. So whereas most of our friends are like, ha kar le, I'm with you types. This particular friend is someone who is your critic, who plays that devil's advocate all the time. It's this critical friendship that I'm talking about. So these are the people who will never mind challenging or provoking you. They consider it to be fine, and you're okay with it, right? So this kind of friendship will be bound on the pillar of authenticity, because the relationship is super authentic. They do not fear challenging you. And also the second pillar of intimacy. They know you extremely well from inside to be able to do that. So your most successful critical friendships, jitne bhi aapke critical friendships, they require an amount of effort to maintain effectively. Because when you expect someone else to be critical, they expect the same thing from you as well. So you have to be vigilant about their positives, negatives, their strengths and weaknesses, everything. And also the flip side to critical friendships is that there may be times when you have disagreements. There may be times when it ends up into hard feelings, right? You may not like that nudge, you may not like that provocation. So it's important, to have that occasional apology or occasional social support to keep it going. It's so important, guys. But trust me, they are immensely valuable, because as human beings, very often we miss our blind spots. But your best friend who is into that critical friendship zone is able to see that immediately, right? So I have a very, very good friend. When I talk about all this, it's all about the quality. I've always been, it's all about the quality of friends and not the quantity of friends. I have three great friends in my life, and these are my, I mean, very old buddies. It's not about these new friendships at all. But trust me, it's so simple for me to make out. Even if I ignore something, or even if I push something below the carpet, I'm very sure that it's these girls who are able to see through, and I know I cannot stay hidden for long with that thing that I really don't want to do, or with that flaw which I'm trying to hide. So I'm that confident of those friendships, because I know that they know me in and out, and I know that the relation is built on authenticity. So it's that generic, it's that authentic, guys. So that's very important. Go back and see, after the show, think about it. Who was that critical friend in your life? And be rest assured, you need one, at least one critical friend in your life to pull out those blind spots, right? The second kind of positive and helpful friendship is the inspirational friendship, especially in this time and age, guys, of social media. Tell me something. How often do you open your Facebook timeline and you see pictures of people who are holidaying in exotic locations, who are putting up pictures, of their fantastic rocking relationship with their husband or with their boyfriend or with their children, who are flashing their big cars, their spanky houses. So we're living in this social media where we are made to believe, once we open the timelines of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything, that people are extremely happy. They're leading a happy life. So while they flaunt their big cars and swanky houses, they're not going to reveal their credit card bills. While they flaunt their relationship pictures and birthday parties and all, they're not going to be revealing the fight that they had in the morning with their spouse, right? While they flaunt pictures of their holidays, they're not going to be revealing the darker side of it.